Well, my question is, how do you see all this playing out over the next decade?
Well, I mean, we're participating in the highest performing asset class in the world, and it is getting more regulatory certainty in the United States and in certain countries like El Salvador, maybe Panama, maybe Guatemala, smaller countries to start out with. Uh, the price performance is probably the most important part for most people, and that's still doing very well. Um, if we can get the regulators to stop harming their citizens by, like, for instance, China just made mining illegal. The EU just passed some gross law about reporting, and it's just like technology doesn't solve politics, and at some point, all these very wealthy crypto people are going to have to play politics to get the government power structures to do better things. So it's unfortunate because it's time consuming and has a lot of overhead, but they have the power, and they very often use it to make the world a worse place with net negative decisions that harm everyone. So, for instance, if you like law enforcement, you want law enforcement to be able to do a good job. What law enforcement does is looks for needles in haystacks. And so, what does regulatory do? They give them more hay, and they make it harder to find actual suspicious things because they declare everything as suspicious, and it's terrible. And what they need to do is hire more investigators and file more injunctions and have more court cases and do more discovery. Those things actually work and prevent crime, stop crime, put criminals away. But this pretending that everyone is preemptively a criminal and violating everyone's privacy is how you create huge honeypots. So, the Department of Defense lost a huge amount of data to a hack. Equifax lost a huge amount of data to a hack. You're going to see all of these giant centralized pools of data get hacked and abused over and over and over again. And the only real way to protect the citizens is to not have the data in the first place. And so it disgusts me that these nations have rights clearly defined for the privacy of the citizens. The Fourth Amendment in the United States, the United Nations Charter, individual states, you name it. They all say privacy is a human right and it should be protected. And then every single thing they do removes that. And you're like, guys, you realize you're violating the very principles on which the body that gave you power was founded. You're violating the principles by which you accepted the office. You're violating the Constitution. We have a right to privacy. Stop violating it. Privacy means you don't know about it. Just I do. Just maybe the person I'm talking to. You, government, you don't get to know about it. But the government just doesn't understand that. They think everything's better when they have more power. And then they don't look at how that works out. How that works out is, what type of government has the most power? A totalitarian government. And how does that work out?